just say fuck it, and they consolidate back a little bit quicker towards the global side. That's pretty much for both supply and command. It's got to be kind of one or the other, because they're just ripping that gap on us the entire time, and Jack's by himself. So either we go with Jack, have two there extended, one helps for like the Raptor door tool set, the other one holds for that, or we do the pulse micro, or we just consolidate back. It's kind of one of the three, but we can't really just do the solo extension like that. It's not panning out for us right now.
Heard.
Yeah.
Heard.
Okay. Heard.
On the attack side, just a reminder what I talked about. First,
triple, so you know, for basement, it's again probably going to be like the first floor explosion, and for storage, they usually like the Kina jump with the toucher on the side, and so kind of be yoga prepared for that, and like think about how you're going to play against
Start close window, I guess, Yoga. I'm gonna do the bandits right on the basement. They probably gonna let open.
Let's see the bounce. I think if the bandit is open, then just play it on, like, skip it on the top floor, I think, and play it only like basement, and if needed on the storage, because otherwise they will have like Zofia to counter it.
Yeah, one more thing. I think for top, I think we should like expect like crazy stuff so in the early round.
Guys, the one thing I'm gonna.
The voice of a very deep man right there from Shepard.
Yeah.
Again, the most I've heard this man speak throughout my entire career. And again, very strategical about the operator bans, the possibilities. Not saying, guys,
we must play the bandit.
You guys can play that. I
play the bandit on the basement.
But also, let's watch the operator bans first as well, right? It's like, don't overcommit to the plan until we know it for sure. And whenever we talk about kind of like how much he measures before he commits to something, you said this last cast, it gives that old Empire vibe, because they had one strat that they perfected on the attacking side that they always just used to know exactly how to counter their enemy. So Shepard would never call something without the full intel. So the operator ban will show exactly what they're going to do in the final end.
For sure, and I really do love the way that Shepard gives so much freedom to the players of GK.
Yes.
Instead of saying, guys, you have to do this because I said so, he says, oh, think about this.
Yeah.
Think about this. Here's an idea. Here's an idea I had. You know, it's up to you. Bandit actually gets banned in the end of it by DZ. So I guess Shepard will not be able to be getting his teammates to play that. But
the only way that works, the only way it works when you have a coach who gives a lot of freedom, though, is when you have players take initiative, right? Shepard starts saying what he wants to share, and then after I could do the, I think, oh, Yogg, I can play the bandit on this whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but that wouldn't work if
I heard a voice getting active in the comms, and I wasn't sure if that was Ask. It actually sounded a bit like an Italian accent, so I thought it might have been Sarks contributing his opinion. I couldn't quite tell. I haven't spent enough time with Ask, Sarks, and Grubby to be able to tell their accents apart and to be able to tell exactly who's speaking. But yeah. Interesting to hear the way that the comms pan out in those halftime role swaps. Also notable as well, we talked a little bit about this, but for DZ, they spent the first half of their tactical, or rather the role swap,
trippy,
because they're talking about what just went wrong.
Yeah.
Right? But I did notice right at the end, before we cut over to the GK comms, Callout says, okay, that's for defense, for the attacking side, and then he starts talking about what's about to come.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like almost like a mini 1-minute debrief of what happened last half, so that if we do get to overtime, you have that back in the fresh back in your mind. You've already, there's nothing what's the word? Like unresolved, right? You've still talked about it.
I think it's an interesting concept because obviously I never played during the halftime swap, right? So we only had the tech time that you called with the coach, and that was it. And we only had that like 45, 60 seconds. You couldn't have the luxury of discussing what went wrong. You gotta look at what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's like a mental tilter. But I like this from a conceptual point of view from Callout, saying, these are the things that we got to do differently next time, and it's almost like you talk about the issues that might frustrate somebody, and everyone can kind of move past that point and now play the other half of the game. Because I do know from myself as well as a player, something can just sit in the back of my mind, oh my god, like, we messed this up, or this player didn't take responsibility for the mistake that he made, or I don't know what we're going to do on defense, and that's actually kind of out of the current present. So you talk through it, debrief style like you said, then you talk about for the last 60 seconds of the 2 minutes, what about our attacks? Yeah. And then Callout said, just to reiterate what I said already, you know, what the prep work was going into the game.
Yeah, very much so. Funnily enough, Faults actually got to play in the third place match last year at the Esports World Cup with SSG, as did, of course, Jane I Know and Callout. And funnily enough, they lost it to Furia.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
I thought they won it.
They did. No, Faults is a funny player. I mean, when you want to track the continuity of this roster, you could obviously look at NJR and the old DZ squad, but most of this Dark Zero really is the spiritual successor to that old Space Station roster that Faults was the leader of, especially because Callout is still coaching. Faults himself has actually been to the last 15 events in a row, S-tier events, and that includes with DZ and Space Station before it. Most of those with Jane, I know a lot of them with Newers, and while he was champion at the most recent one in Salt Lake City, he's been very up and down. Prior to that, I mean, top 8 at SI, and then bottom 16 at Munich, and then Esports World Cup last year, top 4, but only 4th place. Reload, first rounded, SI the year prior, top 6. It's very much up and down for that old SSG, now DZ core.
Yeah, I remember Anne asked him a question during the previous interviews about the longevity of his career, where he goes, oh, I came to the game and I got better, I had my victory. And it was about relearning and getting back up to that level again. So he goes up, he wins. He goes quite far down, fights his way back up, gets another win, but there are so many years between them.
Well, his first ever event was with Space Station when he was a very young man. Yeah. In Six Major Raleigh 2019, he got top 8 at that event. He won the next event, SI 2020 in Montreal. His second ever event at a professional Rainbow Six level, he won. He was a world champion. What did he do since then? I mean, he proceeded to do pretty much nothing for 6 years, no championships, until finally getting that second championship of his in the major in Salt Lake City. He's had an extremely long career. He's a player who was always at these international events. You would have thought that he'd have a few more trophies.
I thought there was one more, actually, but I guess not.
No.
No.
All right, SI 2020, and then a lot of top 8s. Like almost every single major he went to, he would make it to the main stage. There are a couple of outliers where they got grouped, like SI 21 or Copenhagen, for example. They actually got grouped by Scars. I remember that very well. Casted that game, great match. And then Reload, very bad performance. Munich was probably the worst performance we've seen from them in recent history, where they didn't even make it out of the top 16. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of potential from Fultz and from his team. We've seen that. We've seen the depth that this DZ team have, and yet they fell just prior to this match in the semi-finals to Furia, who now make it through to that grand final.
But this is also the story for most esports pro players, and even in regular sports athletes. There are so many people who has to go without a win for a long time for someone else to win, of course, obviously. And in Siege, you and I had this combo this morning for breakfast. We have had, depending on exactly how you define it, between 3 and like 5 eras, a dynasty, if you will, for teams, right? And then everyone else, they either had a singular victory or no victories.
Totally.
There are so many players who's been around for 5 to 8 years who's never won anything.
Totally.
Because we've had so many, or we've had teams just dominate for a long period of time.
Totally. I mean, we had Continuum, and then we had Penta G2, and then we had Empire, and then we had W7M Furia, and then we had FaZe. And it's like...
Yeah, that's like the simple, I would say the simple version.
The simple version is those 5, right?
Yeah.
And then every other tournament that has been won, TSM winning a Six Invitational, DZ winning a few majors, these are all one-offs, right? Like, SI win, like, where was the consistency aside from that? And I think another team that really comes into this conversation is Falcons, because of how many times they have been regarded as one of the best in the world, maybe even the best, but not making it into a championship, not actually raising the hammer or raising that trophy. And it makes me wonder, what is more impressive? A player like Fultz making it to 15 events in a row, a player like Canadian who's still playing 10 years.
Been to every SI.
Exactly, every single Six Invitational. What's more impressive, that? Or, Penta G2 winning everything for a year and a half, or W7M being the undoubted best team for 2 majors and a Six Invitational, or FaZe being in 3 Six Invitational finals in a row, winning 2 of them. What is more impressive to you? I feel like there's actually, it's a bit of a subjective. I don't think there's a correct answer, right?
Different ways of measuring it for sure. I have always valued consistency and longevity, and it's why I have so much respect for a player like your Canadian. He might not be going on stage dropping 20 kills every game and winning every single grand finals, but the guy's qualifying for an event. He's still there, still having impact and a presence, and teams like your FaZe clan, who in recent history 3 SI Grand Finals in a row, right? That's one thing. But if you go back 7 years, they were in a top 4 Pro League final.
Totally.
You go back to, 5 years ago, they were in a major final. And sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but they are always at the top, chasing the trophy for such a long time. And then, like we said, we have teams that, look at Beast Coast, right? Out of nowhere, bunch of rookies. They win a major.
Sure.
And obviously we had Munich where the core did it again, but it's like, No one expects that to happen, but that's been the story of Siege. A team out of nowhere, even in Team Secret recently, they will win the tournament, surprise everybody, and then kind of disappear.
They'd be good for 6 to 12 months, and there's always a different array of reasons as to why that happens. For Team Secret, for example, they got poached to pieces. Unfortunately, you know, the conditions at Team Secret, the salary, whatever, can't compete with these other organizations like M80 and Falcons. And Wildcard even, but yeah, it's a funny situation, isn't it? But I think there is no correct answer about what's more impressive.
No, it's not what you value.
I think you need trophies, though. Like, you can't be like...
Can you be the best player of all time and have never won SI? Because that's the debate that
Shaiko. I mean, I don't think
Shaiko's the best example.
I am, like, very much... I think there's no right answer to a lot of these questions. I think there is a right answer to that. No, you cannot be the best player of all time and not have won a world championship. That is just, it's just impossible, right? Now, if Shaiko won the next world championship, maybe he would be in that conversation. But right now, he is not eligible. It's like our club championship.
Well, he's in the conversation now, but he's not stamped on the letter, you know?
Well, it's like, you know, here, the EWC format with the club championship, you could have the most points out of any club, but if you have not won in any specific game, you are not eligible to be the club champion.
You have to have a win to own.
That's right. You have to have a win, and you have to have a certain number of top 8 performances as well, or top 4 performances. We'll get our club championship reporters to get you the 100% detail on that.
There's something there.
For sure, exactly. You know, like, I don't care if, you know, Falcons, let's say, they were second place in every single title. That's not good enough. You cannot win the championship unless you have one of the championships to your name, and I think that's very much the case. I don't care how many grand finals you've played in, especially Falcons, because they have been in so many grand finals. At that point, you were the favored team so many times, there's got to be some kind of curse. And look, I'm not a superstitious man, but the number of times Falcons have been to a grand final and lost it, I'm certainly feeling a little bit superstitious.
I think they've been gunning for Troy Canadian's record. Because Troy used to be the man who had suffered the most grand final losses before, and I feel like we're probably in a pretty equal area now at this point. Well, speaking of Shaiko and G2, I saw Shaiko yesterday. He's here.
Yes, yeah, he has been.
He was in our green room. He just spawned in. I was like, hello there. What are you doing here? He's hanging out.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, Shaiko's been here the whole time. I actually saw him riding his motorbike the other day.
Oh, did you?
He has a mean-looking motorbike.
Oh.
Very badass. Living...
Phenomenal shield player, this man. He's waiting for the right call, the right time. Mind you, he has the shield on his back as the blind, giving less sound cue as to where he is. He doesn't sound like a shield operator, he just sounds like a regular dude in the server.
Yeah.
But he is not regular at all. He's gonna jump in that CC window and take the fight towards Grubby.
Oh, nice little fight there, close range. Kino takes a little bit of damage from the barbed wire, but he should be able to smack that away. And once NJR destroys his Kiva barrier, he'll be able to contest and prevent Grubby from continuing to peek aggressively. Ooh, very nice. The air jab from NJR. It knocks Grubby back and allows Kino to go for that ADS fight. Early advantage now for DZ.
Air jab wasn't hurt there from Grubby because like too much sound, too much chaos in the server. Smoke canister explosions.
Oh,
the drone hull could net you some damage here, but Sax does not fire at the opportunity, and the wall being broken open here. A lot of pressure applied once again. Probably has to either go for a swing or fall back behind the keypad, but that's only temporary cover. Once that gets shot, it's going to be either proning on the floor or forced to fall through the back.
Looks like DZ are in good stead now. Even though Kino is low HP, he should be able to withstand a few more bullets to the feet before he goes down. He's actually rotating the top blue, so he's likely to try and fight Ask in just a moment at the top of the CC stairs. Newers finds a very nice angle. Nice shot from Sarks, but now he has to worry about behind him because he's lost Ask at the top of the stairs. And Faults will work together with the Blackbeard to finish him off. Wow, very explosive split push from DZ. 3 avenues towards the bomb site. They deal the damage, and they rip GK to shreds.
I like how simple it was. It wasn't about a ton of different layers and utility and counters. Like good crossfires pushing together, utilizing the Blackbeard, playing on the air jabs, and just 3-2-1 connecting. And we saw some of the player interviews. I'm not sure it was Faults or J9O. I think it was J9O actually, saying that yesterday's loss kind of came down to small details. And we know we did wrong. We fixed them for today. And this was a much better look on the attacking side than what we've seen from DC in the last 2 days.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Now, moving into the second attack, they'll have to go down to basement, and GK have thrown a few curveballs here. Unusual to see a castle pick. I wonder what the plan is here from Grubby. How much these will be on the bomb site to slow down a potential rush? Because I think, if I recall correctly, at the halftime swap, Shepard actually called watch for this rush or watch for that rush. And sometimes the castle is good at slowing down the rush. Of course, you can destroy it with the Blackbeard or with the Zafir. In this case, both are being brought. Now, Shepard also said be careful of the Thatcher. Okay, no Blackbeard here as the repicks come on out. A lot of options here for DZ. They've got Vert, they've got explosivity on the bomb set, they've got some hard breach.
The fact that they brought the Ace instead of Thermite leads me to believe it's not going to be a rush because you don't have a lot of space to work with using the Ace operator. But it definitely feels like a late round plant execute. The Thatcher getting in there, the Ram for the verticality, the Blitz for room clear and planting later on. Keen to see what the plan is going to be. DC all about the process, the step-by-step action. That's step number one. And it's free because Bandit and Kaida bend away, and Mute doesn't even stop the summer charges any longer. And that's also why there's no Mute jammers on the wall itself, because what's the point? So you put the jammers elsewhere for drone denial and gadget denial.
That might enable them to roam a little bit longer on that top floor. GK on the bomb site will use the mirror windows, but that's Selma. Oh, wow.
I mean,
great
worth
usage. That is, yeah, 100% worth it there for Ask. It's a huge cost, very expensive to waste your only C4, but it does keep his mirror intact, and there are no Selmas left now for NJR.
If you were to lose the mirror window, the roamers have to fall back to support it because you cannot solo hold the bomb site without it. But without the C4, you can't go for plant denials. Maybe this was baited by DC. They got the EMPs as well for double up.
Good smokes. No Nitro Cell now for Ars to try and deny this.
I will go down for sure.
He's right in the middle, and they don't have information on where that plant's going down. The gas goes out too. A C4 is too late. Had that been slightly earlier there for UPOR, the plant would have been denied, and DZ would not be in a post-plant position. But now the retake is nigh impossible for GK. DZ just outside. The smoke grenade will go out. Ars will try and long arm this. He'll try and get the angle with Yog and Sarks to try and cover, and it's working. Newers taunts in the all chat, but this seems to perhaps be working for GK. Ars will continue holding it. Nerves of steel for GK. The Ninja defuse. Right after he died, Newers said that, and I'm like, bro, you're 3v4 right now.
And it's not a good post plant whatsoever. That is incredible retake, though, I gotta say.
I mean, if DZ had 2 players upstairs, surely that's unlosable, but they didn't have anyone on the vert. I think the only player on the vert was Newers, and he was the one that got taken down.
It's one of those cases where it's such good strategy from both teams, right? The Selma charge baits out the C4 as a possibility. Then they recognize, guys, planting to be quite straightforward. They only have one C4 now, maybe, and smoke, but they're both roaming. So you can get like halfway through the plant duration, then they arrive by the bomb site. And we got Thatcher as well to kind of go for the counter. The only thing is, had Kino been 2-3 steps further to the right-hand side, the angle is much more in their favor. So a strat successfully executed, just the post plant didn't go their way. Technically a good round for DC.
Yeah, but I mean, we talked a lot about this in the DZ versus Furia game and in the DZ versus Weibo game. You can have good macro, but sometimes games are won or lost based on tiny little moments like, does that plant go down? Does that defuse come out? We saw that especially in the DZ Weibo quarterfinal.
Yes.
There were a lot of smoke plants, and DZ were really good at denying them.
Yeah, they were. Again, DC usually the team to win the retakes themselves, but this time it goes against. And Ask, I mean, you can say he's 1-5 on the scoreboard. All I see is that he defused the diffuser last round and got his team the round victory. Again, there are so many ways of gaining value that's not shown you on the scoreboard in the kill department. Kino right now, for example, playing the shield operators. I mean, he's doing such a big job every single round from map control, clearing player positions, gaining information, even if you might not get a kill.
Oh. 2 rounds in the lead now for GK on that defensive side. DZ, a lot of work to do. Now, this top floor attack last time was impeccable. They started with control of IT, control of rafters. They quickly pivoted, took top blue very quickly. Now, not a C4 for Ask. try and... Oh, actually, impact almost works. The second impact will destroy the Selma, but not before a hole is opened up underneath that mirror.
Yeah, underneath it. The mirror is still there. You for low on HP. Sock's already dead. He's starting off with a statement.
And JR can't sprint thanks to that Thorn Trap. He is limping. Now that air jab could actually be shot if Upor perhaps gets close enough, or perhaps if he wide swings, it might actually detonate and force him back. Now he's just prone on the floor. And it looks like Jano might be moonwalking. Is everybody moonwalking? I think everybody's moonwalking.
I see a moonwalk as well, James. I don't like that.
It's a thriller.
Ooh. That is actually a tough situation. I'm going to have to assume that the players also know how to play. I see them with their hands in the air. So this is a tough situation to call. There was a 5v4. It wasn't like nobody was dedicated. I'm not sure what the angle is here. Do you just replay it? Do we have to talk to the admins? I'm not.
You know what's great? You know what's great?
It's not our job.
Is that it's not our job. It's not that.
But the
not our job to make the call about what we do when we have to rehearse.
Well, this team might have had the advantage. Well, this team would argue the opposite. And
well, okay. Do we want to give our opinions on who had the advantage?
We should get a team to plead their case to why they should get the advantage.
That's true. Like a debating battle. That's a great idea. Like both of them stand up. You know what? If we get like Call out up the front, you know exactly what he's going to say. He's going to say, I don't even up the front. You know exactly what he's going to say. He's going to say, I don't even care. I just want to win. I just want to play the game. Let's just replay it.
Let's replay it.
I'll just play it.
That's the most fair thing there is to do, right?
I think we're probably going to end up replaying that round. Like, look, it was reasonably even.
Sox will be happy with that. He died early. Upor was low on HP, but the attackers had low time. So.
Jeno had like 1.5 kills with the 3 big booms. By
1.5.
Because he killed Sox and he got a ton of damage onto Upor. I think he was like half HP on the Warden. Yeah. I can only assume that we'll probably replay that round, but. We'll get the call from the admins before too long. Don't worry, everyone's loading back into the lobby. I can see that almost all the players are back in the lobby, so we'll be starting again very soon. Did you get my Michael Jackson reference? When like everyone was moonwalking, I started singing Thriller?
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I was afraid of getting copyright struck, so I didn't want to...
Oh, you think I'm that accurate?
Weren't you? Well, I mean, I caught it immediately. You're spot on.
Well, thank you.
If only people could see the dance moves you're doing at the same time.
Oh,
no, don't. The music video.
People aren't ready for my dance moves.
Yeah, it's weird because we have the top-down view on a second monitor here, and you look at the, you know, what everyone is seeing on the stream. It's like it looks like a game is happening.
Yeah.
Look to the middle monitor. It's like everyone's been walking.
Yeah.
Everyone's standing still.
Chat, I can see the game has started. We're back into it. Back into it. I do find it really interesting when I see players typing in the chat, and then I can see on our top-down monitor that there's no convo in the chat, because that tells me they're typing in the team chat, which means it's just notes to their own players on their team, which I always think is really interesting. We noticed that the other day after the tactical timeout. I believe it was from Callout.
It was from DC.
Yeah, it was from DZ, doing a lot of typing.
Taking some notes in the chats.
It's a cool idea. I've never really thought about doing that. I only ever use the team chat to say, you know, like you say rush B in the all chat, and then bracket in the team chat, actually rush A.
Okay.
Drops in chat for Black Ice.
No,
guys, if you come up to Pengu at the event and you say, can I have Black Ice, he will personally give it to you.
I will not. This is hearsay, this is slander. But I know of other games where you use the in-game chat as a tool.
Yeah.
One of those games were here.
Which one is that?
I think they were here.
I see a lot of smack talking. Is it League or Dota?
Was League of Legends here? I know Dota was here. Okay.
Drops in chat for Black Ice.
No,
guys, if you Dota.
Was League of Legends here? I know Dota was here. Okay.
Drops in chat for Black Ice.
No,
guys, if you
Dota. Was League of Legends here? I know Dota was here. Okay.
Drops in chat for Black Ice.
No,
guys, if you
Dota. Was League of Legends here? I know Dota was here. Okay.
Drops in chat for Black Ice.
No,
guys, if you
Was League of Legends here? I know Dota was here. 4, and then when the prep phase would end, if you're a team that's forgetful, you just type 4 in chat. Yeah. And then when you start killing drones, you just ask them, what's the counter again? You click the in-game chat, it's 4. So that's 5.
League of Legends was actually played already.
Yeah, I thought so, okay.
Do you know who won it?
I don't.
It was Deep Boss.
Oh.
Random.
I think I saw the quarter or semi-final, the grand final itself. I mean, Deep Boss winning is not random, by the way. Just saying, that is not random.
Are they like one of the best?
They're pretty good.
Oh, Carmine Corp came second.
Oh, did they? I didn't
see. That's kind of
I saw T1 losing. That's the game I was watching.
Yeah, they came 4th in the end.
And did she 3rd? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wild. I like some League of Legends. Big fan.
You know, the game's still to play, so obviously we've got the championship of Siege today. We've got chess today as well, the grand final, which I believe is...
They're playing a third place match right now as well.
Oh, really? Which is Hikaru
believe so.
Nakamura versus the other guy. And then we've got the young 19-year-old in the grand final up against Magnus Carlsen.
No, Hikaru's gone, no?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's third place match.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Oh,
Yeah.
you're right.
Anyway, of course, back into it. DZ still fighting from behind, and this time around it is a trade back and forth. Grubby finds nothing as he is taken down. But Kino also falls, and now Newers has been shot out by Sark. So you're right, Sark's very happy to get a second chance, second life. DZ going quick, but GK seem to be putting a very fast stop to their push. Of course, it's the control room bomb site, very different to what we saw from the round that never got finished.
Yeah.
And GK very active on this defense. They don't need to make a move, but Sarks does anyway, and he gets a little bit silly with it. Gets taken down. 2v3 is very winnable here for Fultz and NJR.
I love when a team, they have a bit of a re-host, right? And they both going to say, guys, let's control the pace, go fast into it. They're both fighting back and forth. The Nari tripwire right there.
Bro,
shocking NGR.
Teammate literally pinged it for him.
Hey, relax, buddy, okay? Oh, he got sapped again. He can't find the laser. Beep, beep, beep.
Strange move there from NJR.
20 damage every time, by the way. So nice and slow. And if they find the second kill from Fultz, that could change everything into even numbers. There's still plenty of time to work with. They have no drone watching this player of viewport. He just has good game sense on this. Planting, though, I'm not sure. It honestly could be possible. There's no C4s, there's no verticality.
DZ really need this round to prevent the match point, and indeed he will go for the plant. He wants to try and bait that flank from Uport. He saw him earlier. He's got the read, great, but no, misses the shot. Needs to win this fight so critically, but he doesn't now. NJR doesn't have that diffuser. It was such a pivotal moment there for Fultz, and NJR needs to get back in a position. Uport has just run all the way back. NJR doesn't know where he is. He doesn't have time to chase down both of these kills, nor does he have time to get that diffuser. DZ are going to go down in such a significant deficit. It's 6 rounds up for GK, for 3 for DZ. Map point here on DZ's map pick as we head into the operator bans, and I already have the call. After the operator bans are finished, Dark Zero will take their tactical timeout.
All right, so I see the bans first, yeah. What's the vibe? What are you feeling? What is the problem? I frankly couldn't tell you. I feel like there's been so many different obstacles here.
Maybe it's the Denari.
He's just like, can we ban Denari, please? I'm sick of it. Yeah, Sami is very standard.
Good move. Very good move. Though it's only been played one round so far.
You still want to do that, like mini play? See the same thing.
What DZ have to say.
All right, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Next time it's supply, we can send top, we get similar pressure off that. I want to make sure we're getting hard pressure off weed, though. More likely than not, they're going to extend off that drop the Nomad, take it floors with the fucking con window side June down there. Rip all the shit they have, probably going to be like a shield extension, etc. I want to open up the weed side, and then after you open weed side, you can decide if you want to flip back into it. Cut out the horizontal lurk right now, look for like a water or like a fucking fork, raptor, window gap, shit like around there. Cut out the game side lurk. All I want to do is apply weed pressure, then cut out the drop and supply. For command, what you call it is fine. I don't really like, doesn't really matter one way or another. The only thing I'm going to say is make sure that we're very decisive once we do take that water set, how we're going to transition into taking the raptor, if you want to do that. And then for basement, let's just keep it simple, apply side pressure and clear against these guys.
Okay.
A good old gift breakdown for all 3 bombs, because DC have to go flawless now. 3 rounds in a row. They know the rotation here from GK, and right now it's about round by round.
Yeah, 3 map points is a lot here for GK on their defense as well.
Just gotta dig deep. I mean, this gunfight in particular, I honestly thought that Fultz was destined to win it. Yeah.
The mouse slam.
The thing is, Fultz played this so well. So he went to the bomb side, started planting. There's a pre-play C4 that was popped by the default plant position. When that happens, Fultz gets off the plant, goes back.
He knows he must be downstairs.
Exactly. Chases the kill, does the first bit of damage, and somehow loses that fight. On the other end, NGR found the kill onto Ask in bottom garage rafters.
That should be the round.
That could have been a 2v1 favor in DC with the plant guaranteed to go down shortly after.
Also, if Foltz's fight had happened like 5 seconds after NJR gets a kill. Foltz probably thinks, maybe I won't take this fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'll play the 2v1 on site and wait for that flanker from below.
Exactly.
So yeah, look, I think that was a very telling moment when we saw Foltz slam his mouse just there, because DZ are known to be the team that says, you know, screw the narrative, we don't care, we meditate before every game. Even yesterday, as Furia were slamming their drums, the 5 players sat before the match started with their eyes closed. They're meant to be the kings of mental. This is just another game. It doesn't matter to us, but clearly it matters a little bit if Foltz is having a reaction like that after a missed gunfight.
Is this spot from Grobby like actually playable? The bottom catwalk window that you just look towards, the rappel ups are down outside the door.
He plays it a lot though.
I know, but with this shield, I mean, you gotta be a little bit crazy to play in that spot, right? But sometimes you need that bit of flair, that bit of like, I'm gonna do something so completely outrageous that my enemy won't even be ready for it.
Sometimes you have to take a risk. It looks like DZ want to do that right now. Kino gonna make his way up the stairs. Pressure from outside the balcony. The mute jammer. No, it doesn't stop the blitz. And Kino will find that kill onto Ask in his common position that he's been playing for most of this game. Now DZ, with the numbers advantage, can pivot. They don't have to hard commit to this one-directional push. They could go for a split push like we've seen from them before.
GK don't exactly understand what the pressure is. Jumper happens to the roof still, just holding an angle. NJR gets a freebie. And now Kino on full HP up against just a singular C4. That means that Kino has almost no ways of being counterplayed. He could just walk on in with the smoke grenades, with the Inquisitor, the fire from Capital, and this could very easily become a plant or a kill round.
DZ don't need to overcomplicate this, but they do need to make sure they don't just fall into the same player crossfire from Grubby, Newers, and Kino's on the floor! Surely not! This can't be the way that DZ let it fall out of their hands! And into GK! It's 1-0 up in the series for the Europeans as our major champions once again find themselves at death's door!
Out of nowhere! As I was saying, only a singular C4 to counterplay Kino, the pressure from Garrett's door, IT breach, catwalk window, and the Aqua flank. And yet we didn't get to see the utility fully come to life. No smoke grenades, no Capital fire, the gunfight's not going the way of DC. GK causing another bit of an upset, taking on a big team in the first map. This happened yesterday though, and despite getting that first map victory up against FaZe Clan, they did not win the series.
It's true, even the greatest teams can come back from a map down. DZ did it against Weibo, and they looked good against Furia for so much of that game, but today is a whole different ball game, and GK are here to play a 7-3. That is not a close game. This is Dark Zero's map pick, and GK wrenched it out of their hands. They grabbed it and they've run away with it. Now they're looking to take down our major champions here on the main stage.
Again, one team may be disappointed not going to the grand finals in DC, and GK to find picks out of nowhere. Not just one player, but all 5 have had their moments in this map.
Look, Dark Zero, they're the only team at this tournament who have actually gotten a win in a series over FaZe Clan. But GK on the flip side, they're the only ones that have done it in a best of 3 over Furia. Now GK are 1-0 up in the series. Let's toss it over to our NA and EU split on the desk.
Thank you so much, guys. It was a great game for the European representatives here in France. GK Esports take the win in map number 1 on Nighthaven Labs. And while it proved to be successful for both teams in different moments, it was GK today who sealed the show. Welcome back, Batman and Robin. I'm calling you forever. Iconic and Alphama. Guys, that was one of those matches that just seemed to go in GK's way, and it didn't ever shift.
Yeah, it was a lot of tight rounds right there. Lucky from the Dark Zero squad, but I feel like GK showing off great on their map pick, really coming out and settling those rounds out. And they run a lot of rounds that weren't in their favor, but finding a way is very important for a new team just to get their footing.
Admittedly, there were a lot of technical pauses. There was a lot of slowdowns. There was a lot of conversation. How do you think that helped GK or hurt Dark Zero?
I think in general, you know, it really didn't help Dark Zero come back into it. I think the momentum all the time was on GK's side. I think if you look at the performance, I think it's a really good collective one on the side of GK. Not a single player really stepping up compared to the other one. I feel like Sox, Yoga, Grubby, everyone was stepping up here, especially the kings and makers of that 3v5 in the last rounds. But I think I was waiting to see an adaptation from Dark Zero. You know the way that GK is going to play. You know they're going to lurk around. And in defense, Dark Zero was spreading around. They were having huge extensions across sometimes 2 to 3 floors. floors, that creates massive gaps on the side of GK to exploit, and quite convincingly GK were able to pick up apart Dark Zero in these defenses. And that was, I think, the biggest problem was the lack of, I guess, adaptation to that playstyle on the side of Dark Zero.
What'd you like that GK did?
I feel like they were really patient, especially on the attacking side. You saw call out in the communication, the timeout saying that, you know, they're waiting for us to give up the space and going off of that. So if they're not going to give you the space for free, you're going to wait for them until they kind of drop their guard, and then you take the space off of that. So really just playing off of your opponent, and that's the key.
Coming into this meta in R6, it was well known that Shields played a pretty big impact. You saw some of the Blackbeard played there, and it's been one of the consistent ban choices in certain maps. How do you feel, especially as we might hear some more information around characters and cool things coming up in this next phase of Rainbow Six later on, the idea of this impact in this map, how much are Shields playing a role?
I think so far it was not really like high impact. I think that the way that GK plays, you know, Shields are really good to try and break up certain crossfires and have the rest of your team push towards that area. I feel like the way GK plays, they much rather have lurk operators. That's why you see them abuse Dokaibi. That's why you see them abuse Deimos. That's why you see them abuse Solid Snake. These operators that will have intel by themselves that they can abuse. And that's why you see them basically lurking on 3 different floors completely individually. A shield there would be kind of useless. So I think it's not really as strong and as used for the side of GK when they're in attack.
Okay, and I think emotionally, when you look at 2 of these teams, we've talked about the mental from Dark Zero, but was it important for GK to take map 1? We've seen them take map 1 yesterday against FaZe. Didn't end up working out for them, but is that a team that kind of, if they're going to win this series, if they're going to take 2 maps, do they kind of need this one here?
I feel like it's okay because Chalet is a strong map for them, but obviously in a series, when you pick your map, you want to make a statement. You want to win that map. Going on to DZ's map pick now, the pressure's off. If they win that map, it's okay because it's their map pick, but making sure that you start off strong on your map with the momentum is huge, and that just gives you a chance for the 2-0.
Both teams have a win streak on Chalet, that decider, Alphama, that's huge, and now the pressure shifts to Dark Zero to try to do something and take it away on GK's map, but sometimes we have these matchups that end up being just that, matchup dependent. It doesn't necessarily play to the traditional strengths. We mentioned kind of the bounce between Furia, where GK was able to beat Furia, Furia was able to beat Dark Zero. These teams have taken different games off of different opponents. So how does this matchup feel now heading into map 2?
Well, you know, I think Dark Zero need to adapt. I think I have a couple examples in mind in the previous map where I see Dark Zero fail to basically control the lurk playstyle of the side of GK. And if I just take a look back at, you know, the way that GK was attacking, for example, you have this round 6, for example, where one Kino is getting caught up here on the room on the top floor. The bomb site is on kitchen. 2 players are still up top. And look who's coming from basement. Here, we have Grubby on Solid Snake. So they just get 2 picks, one all the way on the top floor, one all the way from the basement. And then later on, they just don't care about the extension. They just go for the side directly. Again, finding gaps, and here that Clash is completely isolated. They take the 2v1, and that's my problem with it. That's my problem because DZ, they keep having these big extensions, and that is way too much space. And here, we're in a scenario where it's a 3v5. DZ, they've got a massive manpower advantage. And what happens once again? The 3 main players on the side of GK are able to go and find the 1v1s. And that's an issue because Dark Zero, they're known to have the best discipline outside of the game. Iconic, they should have that discipline in the game as well. And what do we see? The 2 guys that were pushing here Aqua, both of them die. Here one player just pushes into garage, he's isolated. Suddenly from a 3v5, it's a 3v2. And look at this, it's a 3v0.
This is going to be one of those where Dark Zero have to adapt. They have to show us why they are so effective in that mental in map 2. Otherwise, it's going to be GK Esports running away with an $85,000 plus to their prizing here and the 3rd place at EWC. Chris Tunn actually has an update for us on the club championship over with Freya. Chris?
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, I'm champion.
I've come down to the Qiddiya City Battlegrounds to check in with Freya on CS2. I mean, you guys have been down here, you go up onto the STC Arena next week, of course, but there's some big implications when it does come down to the CC side of things. Over here, we got a lot of big teams, right?
Yes, 100%. I mean, yesterday we saw Falcons securing a spot through to the playoffs, so they're guaranteed to be in the top 16. I think that's kind of breathing a sigh of relief for that club, because I know it's looking a little bit hairy at the moment, but obviously coming off the back of the IEM Cologne Major, Falcons, the major champions, finally, I think that's Nico kind of breathing a sigh of relief for that club, because I know it's looking a little bit hairy at the moment, but obviously coming off the back of the IEM Cologne Major, Falcons, the major champions, finally, I think that's Nico kind of breathing a sigh of relief for that club, because I know it's looking a little bit hairy at the moment, but obviously coming off the back of the IEM Cologne Major, Falcons, the major champions, finally, I think that's kind of breathing a sigh of relief. It through.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Vitality are one of the teams that really need to start finding some wins as well. I think I was looking at, we have a little graph back in our documents, and it's like a 3% chance that they could still win it. The fact that they still have a chance, though, it says a lot about their chances within the last week. So any other teams kind of lingering around? I know FaZe have kind of made it through, your G2, that kind of thing. Any other teams kind of on the precipice a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, just touched upon the eliminations. 100 Thieves, unfortunately, saying goodbye to them. They made it through their LCQ, but it kind of felt like they reached the ceiling when it comes to these more top teams. I guess I want to turn the attention to the players who aren't playing anymore behind us, because Na'Vi just won the first map in that best of 3 versus the Mongols. They looked pretty solid there. I would put them as maybe one of the dark horses to be potentially taking the title here.
Oh, excellent. Well, let's see how Na'Vi do. Fred, thank you very much. We'll check it in with you next week. Guys, back to you.
He thinks he can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing. Let's go!
Tyler 1, you're done.
A lot of people are haunted by their past. I'm inspired by it.
They're not just playing for themselves, they're really playing for their entire family.
They have defeated their demons. They have crushed the curse.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
Well, Dark Zero lost their map 1 against Weibo, and they had the opportunity to come back. This has been a team that's been resilient. GK Esports on the other side also, like Dark Zero, come into it having lost a map. And the benefit of this, guys, is that you get to see one team continue that kind of losing streak and one team kind of break it here in this 3rd place match.
Yeah, and the main thing is we're starting to see a pattern of Dark Zero losing the first map, picking up exactly what kind of playstyle they're facing, and then adapt and come back from it. So I'm not too worried about Dark Zero. They're gonna go onto their map pick now, especially I think the fact they're gonna start attack is a blessing in disguise. I know this map is usually defender-sided, but this gives them the opportunity to not have to deal with that a little bit of worrying of the lurking playstyle of GK that especially is strong in attack. They will start by being proactive. They remove Asami, that will make obviously the piano side much easier to attack. And now as we look at this, obviously GK does not want to face the shield on the side of Dark Zero.
Kino, they were talking about the 2nd best shield player in the world. So some of those bans coming through. Iconic, what are you seeing here?
Getting rid of the Grim. Grim's going to be a great displacement operator, just be able to shoot the beast and get information for your team. The Wamai too just going to hurt the extension. A lot of times you see the C1 being a pivotal position here with the Aruni gates or the Jaeger. So it's going to hurt that extension right now. And you should see a lot more Aruni/Jaeger coming out on the top 4 sites.
All right, gentlemen. Well, the round is set. The map, we already know where we're going, should be Cafe. And this one could be a big one. North America trying to bounce back, or will it be Europe that reigns supreme in this matchup? Let's send it back over to your casters, Dev and Pengu, to kick us off map 2.
Thank you very much, Rain Day. Welcome to Cafe, Pengu. Can I take your order?
I was thinking about it for a second.
Yeah,
I'm not that hungry.
Really? Well,
but how about
this morning? Do you remember what you ordered this morning at the cafe?
An omelette.
And do you remember the coffee you ordered?
I got a crème coffee.
Café crème.
Café crème.
Café crème. Un café crème, s'il vous plaît.
I got some bread with butter and
pain. Pain avec confiture?
Yeah, something like that. It's like something
framboise. I don't know.
It's pretty good.
Sorry to the French.
We have a little cafe near the hotel we've been going most mornings.
It's good. I mean, I was going to order a banger of a series, but that's just me.
Oh, that would have been a good answer.
That would have been. I
wasn't
lead a horse to water, but you can't make it.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for it. I'm not gonna lie. I was in my own head. I was thinking about like making a point about the Monty, the Sami, the Ward, man, how much influences, how much influences has on like the piano aspect of the map. And then we're starting downstairs in kitchen. I'm like, this doesn't matter.
Hey, piano is still relevant. J9 has just made his way upstairs already.
There's no enemies. This is Tim on his lonesome, on his handsome, walking down the red staircase, fighting for that map control.
Nice little way though to use the RAM. Obviously, you want to use that to get vert, but you can also use it to hop breach, as we saw from J9. So nice little way to start the roam clear. Once you finish the roam clear, you can start getting to the main job, which is the vert for RAM.
Shout out Kino, by the way. Bro's playing Fuse Shield. I'm a huge fan.
Dedicated.
Yeah, and this is one of the few bomb sites, I think, in the whole game where it actually does have significant value up against others like your Maestro, your etc. Great value there from J9. Finds a very close to U-port. That's the Warden and the C4 remove from action. But the thing about the Fuse here is that you can pop it down on the soft floor, break apart the Vulcan canisters from the Goyo, any sort of setup with the barbed wires, the deployment. Okay, we're hitting our teammates with DMP. That's fine. Control. The second one hits the correct mark. So right now, after clearing utility, dodging C4s and staying alive, they can put down the Sense Projector walls, start fusing the floor, maybe prep one for late round, drop down the hands, go for a plant. This should be for DC 100% about playing for the plant and the post.
Yep. Of course, question is, will there be any fires?
Beautiful coverage.
As the coverage from the Sens wall comes on out. Newers will go down, however. And there is still the presence here in VIP, held by Yogg. The plan being confirmed by Kino at the moment as the flank comes through from Grubby. He finds one. This will need to be a big flank opportunity now from GK. Into the 3v3 coverage upstairs by NJR on this flank watch, and he gets Grubby dead to rights. Yogg now still needs to make a move from VIP as Ask managed to detonate that fiery Kiba, rather the Vulcan canister from Goyo. Will be traded back from the 90-degree angle from J90. Now Yogg in a 1v2, and NJR is up above on the vert. Beautiful plant, beautiful cover from DZ.
Yeah, that right there is just strategical knowledge of like where can we plant that's absolutely safe, and they do it smartly. They jump into the bomb site window to plant deeply. It's a mini croissant. And with that, the C4 cannot reach, the smoke canisters cannot reach. The plant is guaranteed to go down because there's no line of sight with the Sense Projector walls either. So again, perfect understanding. Good flank attempt there from Grubby, not gonna lie, but it doesn't matter. J90 deep in the bomb site, and NGR did retake that top floor vert. Oh, upstairs vert.
Yeah, I have to wonder, if you're a player like Kino, how many rounds of Siege are you playing a day, right? Scrimming, like, how many rounds of Siege are you playing
at least 10
per month, right? At least 10, it's a lot more than 10.
Okay, so on average, you know,
a scrims?
It's safe to say that you play 3 maps at least 6 days a week. And then there are days you do more than 3, but 3 is the minimum.
So let's say average of like 12.
Although when you got Pro League, you don't play as much.
So 12 rounds in a scrim, right?
Yeah.
Most scrims, yeah?
Yeah, guaranteed 12 rounds. You play 6 halves.
12 rounds. Pardon me. Pardon me, I just had to cough for a second. 12 rounds of scrim, 3 scrims a day, that's 36 rounds.
That's 36 rounds.
6 days a week, 6 times 36 is an unknowably large number.
Nice.
I think it's 300 and something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's a crazy number. What percentage do you reckon he's playing a shield? A pretty damn high number.
Damn high number. I mean,
most of his attacks.
Honestly, I think the number is in like, depending on the meta, the time, whatever, but I'm probably like in the 50 to 65% category for the attacking side.
Isn't that insane? Like that's
for the attacking side.
Probably like 100 or so rounds in a week of shields.
And that's not counting for ranked and whatever else you do on your own time, right? So yeah, and this is why, exactly the reason why, some players are phenomenal at the shields, because if you play that many rounds often, you learn the weaknesses and the strengths. Then you have players who started playing shields recently because of the shield meta, who's only clocked a couple of hours and maybe only a couple of 100 rounds on the shields and all their use of pro play. That right there is a difference maker between a great shield player and a decent shield player. And Kino, one of the all-time greats.
Absolutely. How many do you think you've played? How many hours do you think you've played on Monty, for example?
Well, I have like so many accounts I've played on, and you know,
your main account, which is I'm guessing is Pengu.psg, is it?
It doesn't track custom games. That's the issue. It only tracks ranked games.
Disappointing.
But shields usually are my most played operators in ranked. I think Monty, Blitz, and Fuse are all top 3 the last couple seasons that I've played.
Disgusting.
So there is that. But we got the reveal coming in not too long, and there is a question mark about are the shields going to be useless?
That new the shield-busting operator coming out.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. That's coming out later today. Wow, big double kill, making it triple for Ask with the LMG on the Maestro. Love to see that from GK. Bit of energy. DZ try and dominate this top floor with a bit of aggression, but it doesn't work out. And really, they're just fighting one man who's solo holding with this LMG.
81 bullets, packs a punch. Not about the cameras, not about you, so just about the fighting. Gets shot down. Crossfire stabbing Cigar and from Cocktail. Aquino finds that frag. Now, the benefit of having the Solid Snake in the late round with so many deaths that every single member that dies, your teammate or your opponent will drop a little satchel. You see that blue icons on the floor, you can run across them and pick up any piece of secondary utility with the exception of Heartbeat's gadget. So you can get up a frag grenade or a flash grenade or a smoke grenade, but only one of each in pocket. Kino goes down, leaving Newers in a 1v3.
You can bait this out one by one. You might have a chance. Good weapon in the F2. Sarks waiting on the close angle with the shotgun. Diffuser just behind Newers.
Wallbang right here.
Very possible here. You just got to have the better reaction times against the shotgun. Wow, it's a crossfire. He reads it, but Upor still finds the kill regardless. Good response from GK. Convincing round on defense.
Just fighting, fighting, fighting. What's happening here, James?
Oh, please. Croissant. Oh, merci beaucoup. Can I, or do I get another one?
I think I get one as well, right?
Oh, you're getting one.
Come on, get me in here. Can I get an Eiffel Tower? Yeah,
maybe get it next to the camera. We'll get a little picture of the Eiffel Tower.
Getting a photo of it.
Oh, how beautiful.
Beautiful.
Merci beaucoup. Mwah.
Today has been a game of distractions.
It has.
There are conversations happening. There are plays in the server. There's a cameraman roaming around who's also... He's getting the stickers ready while carrying a huge camera, by the way. I was thinking, what is happening there?
I was like, are they going to just like take a photo of us? No? Okay. All right, back to the conversation we were having before, Pengu. What do you think your most played three operators in ranked are?
Of all time?
Yeah, and they're all attackers.
On attack, Ace is on there.
Yep, that's your number one.
So, okay, there's a caveat here. The rank system doesn't track until after year 7, so you have to keep that in mind.
Okay.
So Thatcher wouldn't be on there because that was in the past. I'm gonna go Munty.
Yep. I'm number 2.
I'm gonna go Blitz.
Yep. Number 3.
Bang! I knew it.
Dirty shield player right here exposed on stream.
And there was a season where Fuse was third instead of Ace because Ace was bad all the time.
You also have a 1.65 KD on Blitz with 654 rounds played.
Not
you
bad.
Absolute demon.
It's not bad.
It's disgusting.
Look at my all-time win percentage record of all time. Like
on what?
Goes back to my main profile.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Not the operators. Sorry, Self-Glacier.
Win percentage 79.6. Oh, shut up.
Lifetime ranked. Hold up. Lifetime ranked 82.5 with a 2 KD. Over
1.94 KD. Okay, come on.
Okay, over 5,000 games. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's
not bad.
5,000 games with only less than 500 losses. Machine. All right, let's see. What's this from Grubby?
To lock in.
From Cigar Lounge. He actually finds a double kill. I think they mustn't have realized that he was tucked around behind the minibar, and he feels exposed. He still finds it. This nade, I don't think that'll flush him out of his position. He's happy to just tank the damage. It also doesn't even destroy the minibar, but those explosions go both directions. A nitro cell tossed out from down below in train by Sarks gets the injure onto Newers. I think they have an inkling. Good pre-fire from Foles. Almost traded back. Newers will get back up on his feet. DZ will try and pick up the pieces of this very grim-looking round.
Early disruption time and time again. It was Ask previously, now Grubby finding 2 quick kills. News on low health too. They do have a job for verticality, but he's walking down the white staircase looking for a fight instead, so that hammer not going to be used downstairs. Jock was waiting for him. An absolute freebie. And DC not having a ton of strat right now in the server. No step 1, step 2, step 3 because they fall early in the round.
It'll have to come down to fishing for picks here. But look at GK, 2 players right next to each other in Dining Hall. There's no way that Foltz can find both of these kills, and they're keen to peek for it. Ars takes a lot of damage to that LMG, but Foltz cannot deliver the killing blow. Walking through the flank track stingers, Sarks will put the pressure on as Ars gets aggressive. GK feeling confident today on the defensive half of Cafe. It's another round where DZ looked more lost than ever.
Yeah, again, DC's gonna slow down the game right now, take it step by step. Don't fall early in those gunfights. Get the drone work going. I do think that multi-ban has been super influential because it's so hard to play the other shields. The verticality, the C4s, the long-range gunfire that's gonna be happening. It's such an uncomfortable map to play, you know, the Blackbeard, the Blitz, defuse, with some bumps and exceptions, of course, like that kitchen downstairs. Valkyrie could bend away here. Information and verticality speak about it. And then Ying, combining with the Grim, weakens to execute, and DC will call their attack time to prepare for the second half of the attack.
Remember we were kind of talking about off that, like they do the, it's like the Valkyrie extend out towards like Skylight side or kind of red, whatever it is that falls back. If you want to go fast in that bulk or part as the intro, one adjustment I want to make here though, is let's bring the snake early to like the piano south side windows, get pings across for like whatever the fuck they're doing right there, and then we can go into whatever we want to afterwards. But in general, mid sites, let's just slow down a little bit. We can start with the spread, and then if we want to go into piano over off that we can, if we want to go counter kill we can. Just slow down a little bit though. Like these guys are not playing very good cafe defense right now. They're just taking advantage of us not being ready for their rat shit, basically, is all this.
Yeah, heard.
Or on this, anticipate the 90%. If we see it again, we can run it again with the dope, or we can flip into something else like a 32. Treat it as seen.
They're not playing a very good defensive half on Cafe. We're just falling for their rat bleep. And they are doing some rat plays, it is true, but DC themselves are not droning all the corners. They're not slowing down enough to stabilize the round. They rabble in, completely oblivious to the fact that Robbie was just there in the corner the entire time. And that's the second time in a row now where the entire round has been determined inside piano. And when you have the Asami, the Wamai, and the Monteban, like I said in the very beginning, it really plays so heavily from both sides about Cigar and piano, because those are operators that heavily get utilized in those positions. DC haven't seemed super aware of that. They've been skipping some steps, they've been punished, but with that call-out being mentioned from, that call-out being taken by call-out, that's such an awkward sentence. Hopefully DC can switch it up.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? Like, you have to play the game that's before you right now. You can't try and play the game that you prepared for if that's not the one that you're playing in the server, right? If you've voted GK, you know they like to play certain bomb sites in specific ways. This guy roams here, this guy likes to fall back at this time. They have this set up here. That's great. And then you tunnel vision on that, and you forget that you probably should drone piano before you have two people swing inside, and Grubby is there to get the... Very much not your typical round of siege after that had happened because of Grubby getting that early 2-pick. Now DZ look to try and attack onto Kitchen. Now this is where the map started. DZ were very good at attacking this bomb site. Cafe is quite defensive sided. If DZ win here and then win one of the next 2 rounds, they could very much turn this game around.
There should be a pocket pick here from GK to change it up though, the clash.
And ask Hid in the prep phase.
Yeah. And doesn't care as much about the verticality from the attacks. You can kind of walk below it with the shield covering, you can walk in towards the plant spot, put down the shield, go for a kill. So GK having a different win condition. They're also playing a ton of different time denial operators. You know, the fire, the smoke, even the 2 brown they can use for a hack if they want to commit to it. But DC, I mean, they are great at executing in a 5v5 fashion when they can get all the right pieces together. We saw that the last time when they found their first round victory. There should be a similar story.
EWC का फाइनल चल रहा है, तुम लोग यहाँ पे बैठे हो।
तुम्हें उससे फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता यार। तुम एक काम करो, तुम ना नीचे वाले वीसी में जाके सुकून से बैठ के देखो अकेले। जब खत्म हो जाए ना फिर आ जाना, ठीक है? ना इस इन्फॉर्मेशन की किसी को ज़रूरत है, ना कोई घंटा फर्क पड़ता है इससे किसी को।
होता क्या है EWC, ये तो बता दो।
वो
क्या होता है?
Esports World Cup है, सीज का ही चल रहा है। ग्रैंड फाइनल
नहीं चाहिए यार, नहीं चाहिए। अच्छा, जीतेंगे जो भी जीतेगा बता देना, बट मिठाई बांट के फिर
मैं बता देता हूँ 23,000 लोग ट्विच पे देख रहे हैं।
देखने से क्या फायदा, फिनोमिनल गेम तो तेरी वहीं की वहीं है।
और ओए तकरीबन 25,000 लोग देख रहे हैं मैच।
चलो
on to bakery for us.
और मैं लाइव स्ट्रीम कर रहा हूँ YouTube।
नमरल
देखते हैं।
नमरल जट का मुजरा देखना है, 1000 सेंड करते जैज़ गैश में।
16 मिनट का।
अरे पता है प्रॉब्लम पता है क्या है? जट के मुजरे के लिए 1000 रुपये बहुत ज़्यादा है। 2 रुपये 3 रुपये हो तो चलो समझ लें भी हम लोग। बल्कि झटका तो ऐसा होना चाहिए कि वो हमें उल्टा पैसे दे के यार ये लो पैसे मेरा मुजरा देखो। सर आ गया तुम लगा दो मैच मेकिंग।
आ गया हूँ लगा दो।
कौन खेल रहा है?
मैं और जी खेल रहा है।
मैंने फिर सोलो मैच आज उसके बाद लगाए हैं जी, तो मैं वो जीता हूँ जी
यार।
सोलो मैच
वो फिर अपने कैलिबर के आते हैं ना।
बस सही एमरल्ड और प्लैट लॉबी।
स्टोरेज फुल होगी गूगल फोटोज की, क्या करूँ मैं?
स्पेस बढ़ा ले या फिर डिलीट कर दे कुछ चीजें।
मोबाइल बेच के नया मोबाइल
बैकअप ही ऑफ कर दे। मैं तो कहूंगा बस मोबाइल में रख।
हाँ बैकअप की वजह से तो फुल हुई है ना, मसला ही है।
बैकअप ना गूगल फोटोज से जाओ ऑफ कर दे। ये बहुत मसला करता है।
वो मसला यही हुआ ना, वो बैकअप में अब बैकअप वाली कैसे डिलीट होगी? बैकअप में जो
वो गूगल फोटोज लगा ना, फोटोज वाली ऐप है।
वो मसला यही हुआ ना, वो बैकअप में अब बैकअप वाली कैसे
डिलीट करनी पड़ेगी मैनुअली।
बैकअप में जो नहीं वो तो मैंने कर दी है, लेकिन फिर भी नहीं वो क्लीन हुई।
And now they have 2 chances before we say goodbye to their attacking half to try and find a little bit of redemption. The final bans have come on out before the prior round. The clash was left through. DZ decided to get rid of the Valkyrie, but that's fine here. I mean, GK have shown that they're happy to play the Mozzie, which has a double effect. You can use those cameras, the hacked drones, like Valkyrie cameras, but also it's just more drone denial. And with the recent buffs that have come through to Mozzie's gadget, it's such powerful drone denial, especially on maps that are so centered around windows.
Yeah. And singled always. I mean, Cafe through the #1 Mozzie map right now. C4 second a shotgun and the gadget as you mentioned. So, good bit of value there from Sarks. And again, what can DC do? They can slow down the game, drone more, get more intel. Well, Mute/Mozzie completely placing into that again. They got the mirror windows as well, which gets protected by the Mute Jammers and by the Mozzie Pest. DC, they are desperate for an opening pick. They are desperate to make this round easier, more consistent. As it comes down to high-risk gameplay, GK, they thrive in that area.
Oh wow, electing not to shoot the gridlock tracks from Yogg. He's actually going to tank damage from them as well.
He's standing still in it, so he's kind of just vibing.
It's very strange. He could be knifing them even. But he's going to have the debuff while he's in the track stingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he should have just shot them, but he's got the debuff now. He can't sprint for a few seconds as he falls on back.
Oh, he goes in.
Yeah, JR needs to find this kill as well. Being contested, but it's a crossfire. Well played as Grubby gets the injure.
Solo push.
Are you kidding me? Fultz is running Twitch shotgun? Is this deliberate? I've never seen this before. This can't be deliberate.
He has attachments on it, so that's a good sign, I guess.
I mean, it's a good shotgun, but he doesn't have an automatic weapon now, and the pistol for Twitch is not particularly powerful. He looks to go deep. Finds a kill with the Twitch shotgun. I don't think I've ever seen that in a pro match before. Hungry for more, looking for a second in close range. Now this is where the shotgun really comes to play. Never underestimate that French shotty. Upor, though, he's got a shotgun of his own. This one fires slugs. Takes J90's head clean off. 3v3. He's trapped here in Laundry. Oh, he's going to take so much damage. He's going to die. Grubby now on the vert, might find an angle onto Keynote. The plant will start. Grubby can deny this though. This is very risky. A lot of damage now on defaults as Ask finally takes him on down. It's up to Keynote to find a safe haven to plant, but he has no util left. Newers must do the majority of the work here for DZ. Holding into the post plant. Keynote's taken down very low. The retake is well and truly on for Ask and Grubby. As I say that, the Brazilian will fall. It's all up to Grubby now as he wants to try and drop. 2 players watching his position. I just don't think he's got it in him to make this one work. Into the crossfire he goes. DZ, they had a drought of rounds, but finally, after a very unorthodox attack, they look to finally get themselves back into it. Kino to close a second round on the attacking side for DZ.
Nice try there, but with no intel for the defense, Grubby couldn't figure out where to do the verticality to find that plant there, and Kino, very good job there, not going for an ordinary default plant spot, knowing that Grubby was chasing on the verticality, just into like a random corner, in the bomb side. Much more unorthodox, it works off very well. But the way the DC start the round, Injar solo flying in the building with no trade game whatsoever. Either he was playing a calculated game of distraction, or Grubby actually did find that spot.
Wow.
Either he was playing a random game of distraction, hoping that the other teammates are going to push forward successfully, which they did do, thankfully. But I don't like the fact that they are doing these solo plays from DC because they've been falling apart so early for so many of these rounds.
Yeah, they have another strange round. Surely False isn't going to be running the shotgun again here on Twitch.
Hey, it was good for one.
It was
almost
good for one.
two.
Honestly, if he had gone, he absolutely could have killed, I think it was Upor, the one playing inside of Laundry. Absolutely could have taken the fight on him with that shotgun. But no, yeah, strange round from DZ. I don't really know how to read that. Kaid comes out here for GK. It's going to make that hatch a lot more difficult to breach. It's also going to protect this mirror window. The Twitch is picked off of, as is the Ash. So fewer counters here for those mirror windows. And I mean, no EMP.
Fewer, but there's not.
Yeah, well, no EMPs either. The arguably only counter that mirror window is the smoke from the Capital. But no EMPs here to open up those electricals and get that hatch, get that mirror.
See how DC they play this. Again, tertiary bomb site. Mining is, on paper, gonna be a higher chance of win here for the attack, but there's gonna be a mirror window in play, supported by the kite cross and the hatch. And DC, again, they might struggle with time if they go for a full clear. Again, they want to be cautious. They don't want to die early, and that means play a bit slow, be a bit safer. And if you do that, plus a full map control clear, again, we're talking about the timer working against them. India on the same window as the previous round. This time it's a castle barricade protecting his arrival inside the building. We'll break it open.
Oh.
For now, stay on the exterior.
He's the perfect operator to deal with this, though. He's got flashes to burn, and now the nade comes in.
It's on in.
Yeah, Upor, though, meanwhile, has found not only one, but Yoga jumps outside from the White Stairs window. And with that, TCSG claims a kill. He's actually looking to try and contest. This is so dirty, as if Yoga continues fighting. Genino wants to take this gunfight. He's got essentially wall hacks onto this player while he's detected outside. But Yog knows the angle here for Genino is not easy. And as he tries to swing around, Yog will take him down from outside. Insults added to injury by GK as they look to swim through so cleanly on this defense. It's going to be a 4-2 split. Newers tries to 1v5, but I think that we have another flawless round coming right up for GK.
Yog is still outside the building as well, waiting for a second fight. Newers gonna take it on the corner, just like his teammate. Can he come out victorious?
Another one. Oh, gets the injure finally. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
He can't get the kill.
Eventually goes around the corner, but now worried about the player above him. Worried that he's going to get baited, trying to go for the finish off. Yeah, and he takes some damage all the way from the balcony on the other side. Get your kill, fine. Get your one. Pad that stat, get that KD. It doesn't matter. Ask is coming for you. GK are running DZ down. First, they took their map pick on Labs here on Cafe. 4-2 in the first half. A wry smile from Shepard. And it's time for the halftime timeout.